I'm Jeff Gilberts. Been involved in network marketing for 40 years. So I share a lot of what I've learned in this journey on these live calls. So this question comes up a lot. You know, some people feel like, you know, oh, I'm so terrible at, at sponsoring. I stink at sponsoring. I'm not good at sponsoring. Why is that? I'll give you the answer, and this is the most common reason, if you're ready for it. You talk too much. That's it. You talk too much when you prospect. And that's what so many do. So many people do that. They just, I think a lot of times they think if they can throw enough information at them that they will have to join because the information is so compelling. And I see this even with, like I said, in my own team, I see this, that, especially leaders that go to these doctor seminars and they hear about the science of the product and they take all these wonderful notes about the science of the product, right? Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with having an intellectual appreciation for your product. And you could apply that to anything. It doesn't matter what the product is. It can be skincare, it can be weight loss, it can be anything like that, right? But the problem with a lot of these people is once they take all these notes after they've attended these seminars or got on a Zoom or a Facebook Live, then they have to share it. They just have to share it with the prospect because the prospect is no doubt going to appreciate how great your product is, and they'll join. And so the problem is we have to realize this, that when you prospect somebody, you're training them at the same time. Now that doesn't mean they're going to join. They're observing your onboarding training. And when they go through something like that where somebody's just information dumping on them about all the science, all this about their product, they're thinking inside their mind, oh my God, I don't want to repeat this. I don't want to repeat this. So there's that part of it. There's that part of it. So I find that when people talk way too much about their product, what they're doing is they're shutting that prospect down. And then sometimes you'll hear the comment, well, that sounds interesting. I don't think I'd be interested in doing the business, but I might use the product. That's a real common response of stopping the prospector from sponsoring them. So that's the biggest reason that I find is people talk too much. And sometimes they'll get into the compensation plan. They'll do things like that. Keep in mind, they don't want to repeat complicated things. When we do a presentation, we are training them. That's the thing we need to keep in mind. So here's some steps I find more helpful, and that is learn to ask questions when you talk to the prospect. You got to unlock what's in their mind. Now, I'm not saying an interrogation here, okay? I'm just saying try to use a tool versus doing the presentation yourself. If you do the presentation yourself, that is that manual labor, again, you're asking them to do that. So if you're getting out a piece of paper and you're drawing circles and, you know, and illustrations, whatever you're doing, they're thinking, I don't know if I want to do that. A lot of people are intimidated by it, but they're not intimidated at pressing a button that says on, like a video, right? So that's the reason why I always encourage people to use videos. Let the video do the presentation. We did this back in the 1980s. Oh my gosh. When we had VCRs. For those of you that do not know what a VCR is, Google it. But VCRs. I remember back in the 80s, I'd have prospects come into my office. I would take a VHS tape. Google it if you don't know what that is. That's what you put in a VCR. Pop it in there and sit back, drink coffee, and let the upline do a presentation. And I could just smile and think, man, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. And that was in the 80s we did that. Well, we're much farther ahead, aren't we? Now we just can send somebody a link. But even if you meet them in a coffee shop, you can have it even on your iPhone, iPad, whatever, and then just say, hey, let's have some coffee together, and I'd just like to share this with you. See what you think. And then after that, after they've seen the presentation, and again, you're using the tool so you don't have the temptation to talk too much, right? And the next step after seeing the presentation is don't explain the presentation. A lot of people will do that. There they go again. They're gonna have to talk. Why? They're nervous. They are so desperate for the outcome. So therefore, they're going to want to explain to the person what they saw. Then what is that person thinking? Ooh, wow, I don't want to do this. I don't want to repeat that. See, again, keep in mind, when you're prospecting, you're training at the same time. So whatever you're doing to them, you're asking them to do to others. That's the thing we have to keep in mind. So then after they've seen the video, smile and just say, hey, what did you like best about that? And let them respond. No doubt they're going to say something positive about it, right? But where do you go from there? Then it's a simple question. You know, based on what you saw, if you could commit some time to this, how much money would you want to make? You know, just as a part-time, you could say, working at part-time, you might be aware of their circumstances, assuming they have a job. So, but you know, so based on what you just saw right now, if you work this part-time, how much money would you like to make? And then wait for the figure, and whatever that figure is, say great. Then ask them, step 2, how many hours do you think you could work in a week? And then the next step, how many months would you be willing to work it to achieve that income? And then 4th is, okay, unless there's any questions that you have, is there anything I haven't covered that you would like to discuss before you get started? Before you get started. You're asking them to make a decision at that point. And that's it. So the thing is, they've seen the video. You've asked them how much money would they like to make, how much time would they be able to commit to this, part-time, full-time, whatever their circumstances are. And if I can show you a way to achieve that income, if I can show you a way, that's important. If I can show you a way, should have said that earlier, you know, then is there anything else that you need to know before you get started? And then that's it. It's great to use questions after the presentation and then let them open up. And then you lead them through a process and a conclusion at the end where they join you. And then that's it. And then you go say, well, let me show you how easy it is to join. let's go to my page and we can enroll you now. And then right in front of them, if you're having coffee, or if they're long distance, it doesn't matter, then you're going to send them the link to your page. And I'd recommend talking to them. If they're somebody you don't know, total stranger, it's great to have a conversation with them. Eventually you got to talk, right? Now, keep in mind what's going on in their mind, which will be 4 questions also. Question 1, what is this? Well, the video covered that, right? Does the product have value? Hopefully the video covered that. If not, you can briefly, no science, cover that. Can I make money? If the video doesn't cover that, give them a simple action step. A simple action step. For example, if you enroll 3 with just 9 people, you're getting your products for free and you're making a couple $100s a month already. Whatever that is, or it could be 300, or it could be 400. I don't know. Whatever your compensation plan will pay out. Okay? Simple action step. And then the 4th question is, can I get help? So, what is this? Does the product have value? Can I make money? Can I get help? That's all they're thinking about. If you don't address those 4 areas, they're not joining. They'll say, well, let me think about it. I mean, it looks interesting. I might use the product. Okay. And they might buy once and then you don't see them again, right? So that's the important thing. If you're having or struggling, sponsoring people, you're talking too much. Use the tool and then don't try to explain it after they've seen it. That's what so many do. Because they're so nervous about the outcome. They have to have that person. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. And now, gonna get out of here. And you guys stay in touch. Look forward to seeing you on the next live. Thanks for joining me this morning. Nice seeing you.